Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. House of wanted man's father set on fire in St. Elizabeth. Police have confirmed that a house belonging to the father of wanted man Tommy Thompson in Magotty Hill, St. Elizabeth, was damaged in a suspected arson attack over the weekend. Thompson is one of three suspects in the murder of business owner, 53-year-old and 48-year-old Chinese couple in St. Elizabeth. They were killed when gunmen held up Jojo Supermarket on December 23, 2021. The police had confirmed that in the early hours of Friday, the house was set ablaze. The fire was set hours after lawmen conducted another raid on the community and searched several houses. Police investigation continues. Man shot dead by police in Denham Town. An unidentified man was shot during a confrontation with the police in Denham Town, Kingston on Wednesday afternoon. Reporters understand that about 1 p.m., cops were responding to a shooting incident on Albert Street when they were reportedly fired upon by gunmen. The cops reportedly took evasive action and returned fire, hitting one of the men, who later died. A pistol was seized in the incident. Portland terrified of deviant Brian. Nadine Anderson and her two daughters are terrified. Word came last Tuesday that deviant Brian, the main suspect in last October's abduction of two girls in St. Thomas and at least one attack this year, was back in their Dunning Gap community and have reportedly commented on how much her daughters have grown. From that, me afraid. People see him and come tell me say, him said that at the era, so me no fi send me pikini dem go a road alone because him say me pikini dem get fat, she said. It's something that I know, but it's 6 years me and him no deal. She also dismissed rumors that her mother has been helping Brian. Me have a cousin who hear people saying my mother have him. My mother live at Bad Spring, not Denham, and don't know nothing about him, said Anderson. She was speaking with reporters last Thursday, a day after what is suspected to be Brian's last attack on a woman in Denham Gap. The incident had robbed Anderson's daughters of their appetite for food, replacing it with throat-clogging fear. He attacked her and threw her in the bush. Her head mashed up, a man reported, of the alleged attack, which is said to have occurred about 10:30 a.m. The woman, who was rescued after she made an alarm, was taken to the Port Antonio Hospital for treatment. She was later transferred to another hospital, where she was admitted. Residents said the woman, who knows Brian, was able to describe him as her attacker. The police have confirmed that he is a suspect in that incident. Residents said Brian had lived in Denham Gap, then moved to Norwich in the parish before heading to St. Thomas. They said he is back in Denham Gap, but they are afraid to report him to the police as he has threatened to harm those who do. Residents have welcomed the police patrol taking place in the area since last Wednesday's attack, but think more needs to be done. These things don't happen up here, and we want him out. Look what him do to the lady, said one resident. Many stayed inside their homes, fearfully peeping through the window, while machete-wielding men from the community walk around in groups. I am living in fear. I can't go to the gully down there, said Anderson, as she pointed to the area below the road. See me bag with the plant in sucker. Me plant wrong down the gully, and when me hear that him dey bout, and he's down there him move, me no go down there. I buy them to plant, as I have the children going to high school, and I have to help and can't just depend on the man alone, she said. Residents showed reporters a hut they believe is being used by Brian. Inside was a slab of sponge apparently for sleeping, a lighter, a Dutch pot containing a meal of rice and mackerel, a fireside and a drum of water. Coffee, bananas, cocoa and pineapple were among the crops planted nearby. On Monday, the Portland police once again urged Brian to turn himself in. Deviant Brian is asked to surrender to the police as there is a warrant out for his arrest, Superintendent in charge of Portland Kenneth Chin stated. Brian is wanted for illegal possession of firearm and rape. He is out on bail, but failed to appear before the Portland Circuit Court on February 17, and the judge issued a warrant for his arrest. Administrators of the parish's College of Agriculture, Science and Education case suspected him of being involved in last Thursday's attack on a female student, but this has not been confirmed by the police. On Monday, Superintendent Chin repeated and appealed to residents not to help the fugitive, whom he said is often in Norwich or Denham Gap in Portland, as well as Bath in St. Thomas. Portland bus operators protest new cab license. Many bus operators in the parish of Portland are fuming from the Transport Authority's TA assigned taxi drivers 45 routes that serve 225 passengers. The bus drivers withdrew their service on Monday and have called for the TA to put a hold on the new license. We were not consulted, and if you check it out, none of them have a route license for a year or over, said one bus operator, Antonio McCleary. We have been doing this for more than a year and we were affected by COVID. They are overcharging the passengers and school children. The school children should pay $100, but they are charging them $200 and $250, and adults $300. We want a hold on the issuing of road license to the taxis, he added, but the state agency has refused. The TA's acting corporate communications manager, Merdina Cullum, reported that the agency stands by its decision to grant the 45 license. The agency, she said, had done its research which supported the decision. We issued the license to help to transport persons. They were a void left due to the pandemic. The taxis were running illegally, and it meant that there was a space for transportation. They have made several requests, both legal and illegal operators, to give them some routes so that they can operate legally, she said. The TAG's assessment of the request, she said, included looking at the seating capacity already being provided. Research was conducted over a period of time, and the need was seen, and based on that, the decision was taken to give them the 45 routes, Cullum stated. Monday morning's protest by bus drivers left commuters in Buff Bay scrambling to get to school and work. It came a week after taxi operators took to the streets to vent frustration about not being able to legally apply routes, despite an obvious need for more transportation options. Back in Parliament, Bontin ignores resignation calls. Former National Security Minister, Senator Peter Bontin, has given the clearest of signals that he will not bow to calls for his resignation based on the findings of the damning special report from the Integrity Commission on the Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA. The report concluded that Bontin gave approval for the granting of firearm license to two individuals with criminal traces when, as minister, he was in charge of the FLA. Bontin served as Security Minister between 2012 and 2016. The special report covered the period 2016 to 2018 and found that another former National Security Minister, the Jamaica Labour Party's Robert Montague, when granted firearm permits to 6 people with criminal traces while he was minister between 2016 and 2018. Controversy-plagued Montague tendered his resignation from the cabinet last Friday. He was minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Since then, calls have been mounting for Bontin to do likewise. But instead of resigning, Bontin, who serves as leader of the opposition business in the Senate and People's National Party PNP spokesman on national security, appeared at Tuesday's sitting of the Joint Selected Committee examining the new Firearms Act and participated in the deliberations. Bontin first made his comment during which he referred to his actions at the FLA after National Security Minister Dr. Horace Strang, who is chairing the committee, gave opening remarks. During his remarks, Strang noted that the public chatter around the findings of the report of the Integrity Commission. He told the committee that following the change of the board of the FLA in 2017, several policy changes have been implemented. He said there have been significant ministerial shift in that of the Minister of National Security no longer reviews the recommendation of the review board. We found it inappropriate that a policy unit within the ministry should be asked to review the work of a panel, headed by no less a person than a former president of the Court of Appeal, supported by a former senior deputy director of the public prosecutions and a retired senior police officer. We find the character of the chairman of this panel to be unimpeachable and beyond reproach. As a result, the findings and recommendations of the board are accepted as recommended, said Chang. In addition to that, where the 90-day period for the review board to consider an application has passed, I, as Minister, do not intervene, but may seek to recommend where there is a genuine case through the Chief Executive Officer of the authority for the Review Board to take an early look at such appeal. I do not exercise my discretion to examine appeals delayed beyond 90 days, Chang stated. Bontin responded to Chang, thanking him for his remarks before stating that with respect to ministers operating on the recommendation of the Firearm Review Board, I endorse at 100% and it's consistent with how I behave, particularly in the two cases raised in the Integrity Commission's report. It is curious that they made no reference to the report or recommendations of the Firearm Review Board in those cases. Chang conceded that there's something wrong about reviewing a review board panel by the staff. The PNP has defended Bontin amid the calls for his resignation, with party president and opposition leader Mark Goldin standing by him. Goldin has argued that there are clear differences between the two cases involving Bontin and those at which Montague was involved. Goldin is adamant that the Integrity Commission's report made no allegation that Bontin, as then minister, misdirected himself. Goldin told the media that the facts of the two cases showed that one never resulted in a charge, while the other was a situation where the conviction was expunged. As far as Goldin is concerned, that was legitimate exercise of his Bontin's discretion. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.